because, a lot of people are saying that batch 3 is kind of like a callback to batch 1.
Right.
And I think I would absolutely get behind that.
Welcome to Whiskey and SV. I'm your host Sam, and tonight I'm going to be drinking some Jack Daniel's 12-year with my good friend Ralph.
Thank you for having me. Happy to be here.
And we're dressed up because we're going to go to Fox City Social after this. So, yeah.
We're getting married. Gonna make an honest woman out of me.
All right. So we have the Jack Daniel's 12-year, the first batch.
Correct.
And I managed to get the batch 3.
Yep.
So the goal is to see if batch 3 is anywhere near as good as batch
Batch 1.
Yeah.
We're about to find out.
Yeah. We're going to put number 1 on the first one and number 2 on batch 3. And then number 3 on batch 1 again and number 4 on batch 3.
Perfect. I'm
Cool.
excited for this.
Yeah.
I love Jack Daniel's.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so as usual, we'll kind of like do this. And that means that these are the batch 1s, these are the batch 3s. We'll do the kind
Sure.
of shuffles, yeah?
You want me to go first?
Yeah. All right, let's go.
Let's do it.
Cool. So that means, yeah. Well, I think we had like this and that, right? So it'll be like these are
Right.
ones and these ones.
Man, it doesn't get easier. It still becomes hard.
All right.
All right.
Okay, so what have you heard about these whiskeys, Ralph? I know that you are a big fan of batch 1, and I love batch 1 as well.
Yeah, batch 1 was one when I first tried it. Didn't really love it, but once it got right around there, that's when I started buying more because I thought it was really, really special. So I've heard nothing but good things about batch 3. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I opened batch 3 last night.
Mm-hmm.
I already did a comparison. In my comparison last night, I thought batch 1 was much deeper, denser, darker flavors.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it, frankly, way more. But it was a fresh crack, so it wasn't fair. I mean, it has had some time to open up.
Yeah.
I did wait for an hour last night. I think so. I don't know, like if an hour does make a difference. That is like exposed
You need
to
more time.
Yeah. Okay,
yeah.
Well,
imagine like an hour in a barrel versus like
Sure. Sure. All right. Let's do it.
Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers.
It's everything I love about the Jack Daniel's brand is in here. It's sort of a very, very slight like nutty note, like a peanut shell note, but ever so slight.
Yeah.
Nothing like a beam nuttiness where it's like peanuts galore.
Sure.
And then you get those really deep, dark, dense sort of caramel and vanilla notes that I love.
Agreed. Molasses.
Yes.
It's for me.
A little bit of tobacco too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. It's the barrel char that I love in these.
Yeah.
So
what makes? I think we've talked about this before, but they don't call it a bourbon, even though it could theoretically be called a bourbon. They like to call it Tennessee whiskey.
It's because of the Lincoln County. It is a bourbon. It's bourbon.
It's a bourbon.
Yes, it meets all the requirements for it to be a bourbon.
Yeah.
Chris Fletcher will tell you that it's a bourbon.
Right.
So yes, it is a bourbon. We're drinking bourbon.
I think tonight I'm not getting a huge difference between them.
No, I am. Well, huge is probably strong. I'm getting a difference.
I would say this second one is not much, but it comes across as sort of like more complex to me. It's more denser, darker notes.
Okay.
Compared to the first one.
Are you getting acetone at all? That's a note that I tend to get a lot on the Jack Daniel's batch 12, the 12-year batch 1.
To me, acetone is a pretty negative note. It's more when I'm getting like a sort of ethanol notes, and I would say that it's not something that comes to mind from not for me personally.
It's actually something I get in just Brown-Forman in general, but mainly Old Forester and Jack Daniel's. Not so much Woodford, but those two I tend to get acetone every now and again.
Right.
It's not bad though. I don't think that acetone is always, but I get what you're saying though in terms of like ethanol forward.
What brands fall under Brown Forman? I believe Michter's is even Brown Forman, right?
No, Michter's is, well, Michter's is like the most secretive distillery in the world. It would appear, where they don't disclose anything, and they probably have NDAs up the, but you drink Michter's products, well-aged Michter's products, you can pretty much pinpoint that Brown Forman is somewhere in their distillate, but it's never been confirmed.
Okay, but Brown Forman definitely owns Jack Daniels,
Woodford, Old Forester.
Forester.
If you want to get into Scotch, even Glendronach. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Let's go for the palate and see. I think just on the nose, I have a slight preference for this one, but
I'm conflicted.
Okay. Super flavorful. The oak really comes out on this. I get some sort of like dark chocolate on it as well, which I wasn't expecting, and I don't remember experiencing before.
I agree. Dark chocolate and coffee are something that I kind of mix every now and again.
Yeah.
I used to get a lot of coffee on that one. I've never had this one.
I see.
And it's coming through a lot right now.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah, it's excellent. That is excellent for sure.
Man, that's really good.
Yeah.
Opens up so much more after you have that first sip.
Unfortunately, we went to Nick the Greek just before this, and I had some garlic fries, so it has a tendency for me to get a little bit of garlic in everything now.
Really? Well, I think you ate more of that than I did, so I'm actually able to escape.
You had like 2 fries. I had the whole thing.
Because I'm smart.
All right, let's try the second one. This is really good as well, though. I think this is more fruity compared to that one. It has a little bit more fruits on it.
This one seems older. This one is coming off older to me. It's just richer. It's just more rich. It's just denser.
Based off of this current impression, I can't say that it was as obvious as it was last night.
You got some air in it. Yeah. That one's oakier too for me. Glass number 2 is a little oakier for me.
It's more spicy too.
It's a little spicier. It's a little drier. Yeah. A little bit more tannicky.
Yeah. I have to say I enjoyed the palate on the first one more.
First one's a bit more velvety and silky.
Yeah.
Whereas this one has more spice.
Yeah.
Right?
Quite a bit more spice.
Yeah. So it's going to come down to mouthfeel, because they're both very, very similar, I would say.
Yeah. I mean, last night they weren't, but they are now.
Take a sip of water. I think I might be leaning towards that one.
The nose, I felt the second one was better.
But the palate on this one's better.
I think I need some time as well.
They're both oddly similar.
It's we didn't fuck it up. The way you switch them like this, right? Not like that.
I did this.
Yeah. Okay.
That.
Yes.
That's what I did.
Okay, good. So we're fine.
Yes. I yes.
Okay. They're oddly similar, you're right.
But I will say though, upon the first nose, they were very different. Okay. So I don't think that they're the same. So I don't think that I mixed them up or anything like that.
I'm relatively sure though that this is batch 1, because the nose is much better, and I remember the nose on the first one being much better.
I haven't had batch 1 in quite some time.
Yeah.
I would say sometime last year.
Especially now going back,
Yeah. I will say that this is richer, and it's oakier, and it's darker. And this is just speculation, but I did hear through, whiskey people that apparently there was a lot older stock in batch 1.
Interesting.
So wouldn't be shocked if this was batch 1, but
I want to change my answer. I do think that this is more complex. It's a more enjoyable experience overall.
Okay. Spicier.
I actually think this is more drying.
I'm so conflicted. They're just so similar. I mean, we're splitting hairs.
That's true.
You know what I mean? This is
not on the nose. I think on the nose, I have a very significant preference.
On the nose, I think glass 2 is better.
Yeah. It's not even close on the nose for me.
But the experience overall, they're...
Look, if you handed me one without the context of the other one, I would not know. Or I would not know like that which one it is. even now I'm struggling, right? So
Yeah.
obviously,
I'm
but
struggling. Man. I'm such a fan of batch one that you would think that I would be able to pick it up immediately, but I do think that that just goes to show that they are, because a lot of people are saying that batch three is kind of like a callback to batch one,
right.
and I think that I would absolutely get behind that.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Is it? Are you like me, where you when you once you like a whiskey, you put it on a pedestal and you don't visit it often enough, so then you think like it's so great, but then like you actually don't know it that well. That tends to happen with me. Like the Jack Daniel's single barrel, the single malt
Oh, the
sherry twice
Oloroso.
barrel. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
exactly. That one in my mind is so great that I rarely ever go to it.
You can have mine.
Even though I have like backups.
Mm.
No, I have backups. I mean, I loved it so much that I have many backups.
I liked it. It was different. It definitely marries, like if you're into Scotch, especially sherry Scotch, and you love bourbon, it definitely
But you
marries.
weren't
Or not
into it. You
bourbon,
didn't
but
think it was that great.
no, I liked it. But great is strong. Great
I
is
thought it
like
was great.
okay. I liked it. I didn't think it was like phenomenal, but it was definitely not bad. I think a lot of people really either loved it or hated that one.
Yeah.
I kind of sit in the middle.
A couple of my friends actually gave me their bottles because they really didn't like it at all.
Wow.
Like they were like, just take the bottle.
But those are
I
like
gave them stuff, but like,
those are like the
really didn't want it.
bourbon like enthusiasts, like the hardcore, like
Yes.
give me bourbon and nothing
Yes,
else.
they don't like
Yeah.
Scotch at all. Actually, one of them has come around and is now into Scotch. I wonder if he revisited if he would like it.
It's not that Scotchy though.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's actually like it's
Sherry forward for sure.
Yeah, but it tastes like a finished bourbon. Actually,
you would be able to
yeah.
convince me that that's a very heavily finished bourbon.
Yeah, I agree. It definitely has a Jack Daniel's character. That's what I love about it.
That's interesting you said that, because that's exactly what I thought when I first had it. I'm like, this obviously has a sherry influence, but that Jack Daniel's DNA is very much.
It was very much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is kind of doing my head because I really don't know which one I like more.
Right.
I don't even care which one is which.
That's saying something by even without like really knowing, right? If you think they're close, that you can't even pick which one you like more.
They're very. If it sits here for like another 30 minutes, I probably will be able to tell you which one I like more. But we're splitting hairs. Like they're so incredibly close. So I'm gonna take one more sip and then I don't know. See which one's which. They're both great. If you're wondering, they're both fantastic.
Yeah, to me, this is just not as deep, dense, dark as the other one. This one has more going on. It is more spicy. It's like got some slight amount of like harsh edges compared to this one. But overall, if I was gonna sit down and like pick something apart, I'd much rather do it with this one.
That one?
Yeah.
This one is oakier now.
It's not really oakier. It's
drier.
More drying.
Yeah, drier, I should say.
Yeah.
Tannic. Yeah.
Tannic, yeah.
But I do agree that the nose on glass 2 is a little better.
I think it's a lot better. I'm like very firmly in the camp with this one now. I would be shocked if this is batch 3. Yeah. I would be like extremely shocked. The more I have them, the more I realize that this is like way better.
It is spicier. Mm-hmm. Splitting hairs. They're both great.
All right.
But I do give the edge to the nose on this one. Yeah, let's do the reveal.
Just the nose.
The palate, I mean, this one's a little spicier, so I feel like a little bit more of a velvety, drier mouthfeel. Whatever this is, just going to give you that.
Okay.
Yeah, so, but they're both great, though.
All right, let's do it. So, we have number 4 is here.
So that's batch 2.
That's batch 2.
3, sorry. Batch 3.
Yeah, batch 3. So,
yeah.
That means this is 3, which is batch 1.
Yeah, batch 1. Yeah. This is number 1. Yeah, so
yeah,
number 1.
Yeah.
But you know what, though? Who's to say that in like a few months that won't taste exactly like, or maybe not exactly, but very close to that, It's been open for less than 24 hours. So if you missed out...
Maybe. I think maybe, but the thing is like, I think when the bottle cap is on, right? Obviously aging happens slower because like it's whatever oxygen is there is gonna like,
Sure.
Oxidize it.
Mm-hmm.
But with this, I did leave it out for almost an hour with the cap open.
Yeah, but it still needs like time, not just like leaving it out like overnight. Or I mean, Jackie's she was one of the people that said, hey, if you really want to experience bourbon from a fresh crack, leave it open overnight, inside of a glass or whatever. Right. So it does still take time. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Especially with these two. Like I said, once it gets past the shoulders and you give it a couple of months, I think that's when you really start to pick up all like the nuances and the great flavors from that whiskey the way it was intended to be. But maybe we'll just revisit it.
We should revisit it. And I think you said that someone you really respect picked the 12 over the 14.
A few people picked the 12
Yeah.
over the 14. Yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't just one particular person. And
I was not able to get a 14, and unfortunately, the secondary price on the 14 is still unbelievably ridiculous. It's
Yeah.
like more than $500 compared to this, where the secondary is like 200, right? So it's more. If you have to try something like 200 would be like the range what I would be willing to try. But with the 15, I think we gotta sort of like get a sample or something before we decide whether
the 14.
Yeah. The 14.
Well,
to see if it's worth getting.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's going to be great. Because it's been so mixed, right? The 14, it's been like it's really, really good. I think it's going to be great, but is it better than this one? We don't know. And to pay $500+ to be,
Yeah, when you don't know.
When you don't know, that's a tough sell.
Do you know any bars in this area that may have it?
I went to a few, and they all don't have it yet. I'm sure that's going to change within the next couple of weeks because they've been telling me like, yeah, we've been getting asked that a lot. We just don't have it yet.
Okay, sounds good.
But I'll be in Tennessee soon, so maybe I'll come back with a with a bottle, and then we'll revisit these.
Great. All right. Cool. Well, thanks for tuning in, and hope you found this episode interesting. And we'll see you next time.
Cheers.
Cheers. Mine's empty. All right. Cool.
It wasn't that obvious.
By the end, it was.
By the end, it was on the nose, but this one's a little spicier. This one is a little bit softer. You know what I mean? But overall, I mean, I'd be happy with either. So the fact that I have batch number 3 now, it just makes me feel like, cool, pretty much have batch number 1.
Sure, but I would say like I still think 1 is significantly better. Like if I had a look, if you don't have an option to get 1 because it's too expensive, I understand. But if given the option, I would definitely pick 1.
Yeah, I mean but again, dude, look at the amount of air that has been in that bottle.
That's true.
And when the